Oh man, never practiced the intros. Here we go.
Here we go. Roll with
welcome
it.
back, guys. It's Dr. Andy Chen, and I'm here with my boy Mike.
What's up?
Mike, I don't know, you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
I thought you were going to say my last name, but you may have botched it. Michael Autore here.
I didn't say the last name.
Yeah. We on Spring Street,
Mike,
down in
SlimThick,
Soho.
Autore. We're
Yes.
gonna eat a whole pizza pie and just talk shop about being in the health and fitness industry. A lot of people walking by, but let's
get it.
do this thing. How's it
Can
going?
we get the whole pie?
The rest of this and then one vodka slice. 2 Diet Cokes. We got the Diet Coke, large, because watching our figure. And then the guy kind of gave us a ghetto ass box, but
we'll take it.
This is the pizza.
Again, this is the fuzzy Dunlop. We got sausage and some spicy pepper.
I asked people to ask us some questions. I got a few questions, so eat a slice.
Were the questions appropriate?
Talk a little bit of shop.
Or inappropriate?
The ones I got were appropriate.
Okay.
You got some inappropriate ones?
A couple. It's all right. So when do we start eating pizza?
Because I'm fucking starving, bro.
Yeah, I'm ready.
It's rolling?
Yeah, it's been rolling.
Okay.
It's been rolling.
A little bit.
All right, here we go. Yo, do we cheers with the?
I think we're
this shit's kind of dirt. Oh, that felt weird. Sweetness of the sauce. The vinegary pickled pepper.
Yeah,
the sausage.
That pepper makes it. It's the pepper.
Then you got like a nice blend of like a little floppy, a little crispy.
They're doing something right with that oven in there.
Yeah, upside baby, upside pizza.
On the corner of Spring and Mulberry. What a spot.
Someone outside looking in, what would they not know about the industry in New York?
It's interesting because the industry is obviously changing. You look at what we're doing from a content standpoint, from a remote programming standpoint. I feel like there's this wave of people who still do a ton of sessions, myself included at times, to support your business. But then it's also rolling into different types of remote program options, like I was saying. So, outsider looking in New York City, you're probably working like a dog, running around a good bit, doing some sessions here and there, running around. Maybe you have a home base to operate out of. And then, depending on where you are in the city, and I think this is why you and I vibe so well, is that we got our hands in different things. And then it's like, oh, let's make some merch. And we get linked up with the people at the restaurants, and you meet all the people who run the local businesses. So, at least for me personally, we have the whole business side of things of what we do in training in New York City, but we get to also live the lifestyle part and, again, greet people as they're walking their dogs in the morning and all that.
Yeah, I think there's like some good and bad with like being in New York, right? Because there's just so many people. You're bound to know someone that's like, for real, word on that one. But it's like you're bound to know someone that's like where you want to be or like ahead of you. So it's like very easy to be like, damn, I wish I was, doing more sessions. I wish I was, running this and doing that. And that shit can get kind of sad, right? Because like you're in the industry.
Yep.
You see someone like making a ton of money, doing really well for themselves, and you're like maybe just starting out, or maybe you're working for somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's like sometimes the bad side of it. Some people could be motivating, but I also like the fact that like it's kind of a close-knit community. Like I think we pretty much know everyone in New York, or we're like within one person, right? Like, but if you know a friend of our friend, we've kind of covered every fitness person in New York. So it's easy to know everyone in New York, which is kind of cool.
To your point about building business and comparing to other people, it's a little chilly when the sun goes away, huh?
Oh yeah.
Remember talking to someone who has an apparel brand.
Bro, you can eat that crust, right?
I'm gonna hit it. No worries. I knew you were gonna ask that. I was talking to a friend who has an apparel company, and I was like, man, you're killing it. I see what you're doing online. And he's like, you don't realize that I've been building this for 6 years, and you're seeing it after 6 years of me putting in the time, putting in these hours, shipping out t-shirts. So you gotta have that perspective of, you gotta start from somewhere, and you and I are both in a building phase right now with our respective businesses and brands, and we get to eat that up and love it. People think we're killing it, but they don't know the hours that we're putting in as well. Maybe they do you, because you're cranking out content every single day.
I'm dead, bro. I'm dead on the inside.
It's important to have that perspective that you got to start somewhere, and some people have started at different points in their lives compared to us.
The second question is like, where do you see the industry going in the next couple of years? You're in the middle of that, so let's
Yeah, I think it's similar to piggyback off of what we were just discussing, is that a lot of most industries really, but more specifically with what we were working in from a training and physical therapy standpoint, is moving to more of a digital model. So it's great if you're this coach in person doing all these sessions, but your reach can be that much greater outside of the gym that you're in, and that's what we're doing videos like this for, is to build our brands and reach
Nico's got to eat. That's why we're doing videos.
Well, we're just trying to pay this guy. He said he was hungry, but I think that's where it's going to really head, is more digital options moving forward. And thanks to the pandemic, it's not weird to reach out to someone across the country or across the world and want to work with them. And that's what's cool with what we do now.
We have people right now in Singapore,
Wow.
Italy, Australia. And the tough part is that like we're scheduling, and I gotta take out a fucking calculator to figure out what time like we're doing the sessions.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the toughest part. You know, the options are gonna open up, but I see a lot of people like valuing like group fitness more than like regular training. Like I think it's gonna be more common that people train in a group setting in person.
Yep.
I think the virtual stuff is great, but there's nothing like little fist bumps and stuff like that, struggling with somebody side by side. And the group model is just more affordable for people.
You can't replace that community aspect in person with the group. But on the other hand of that is you're able to work with a specific coach outside of that to build a skill or prepare for a given cert. So your opportunities to train have improved, and you have more valuable options. But I agree, it's all going to still come back to group fitness. People wanting to work out with other people sweating next to you.
And I honestly think that training type style wise too is gonna be less of like yo, let me get jacked and like pumped, and more like, you know, your shit, like swinging some bags, swinging some bells,
having some fun,
throwing some mace, and like doing stuff where it dodoesn't feel like a workout. Yeah. You know, it feels like
that's what people had to do through the lockdown because they couldn't go to the gym. So it's all right, there's only a 12-pound mace available on Amazon. I guess I'll buy that and figure out what to do with it. So I think people are more self-sufficient now in regards to their working out, but again, you can't replace that community aspect of people wanting to be in person.
I was swinging my fucking Swiffer around and shit. Like, that shit wasn't much of a workout.
There's not enough weight on that,
I know, I had to clip like a lot of wet towels on there, get like 5 pounds on
the
that
wet
shit.
Swiffers. I'm just crushing these. I'll come back to the crust.
I don't know, man. That's a weird tactic you got going on.
As much as I love their pizza, crust isn't that great. I've always joked around with the term SlimThick from hearing it in a song way back. And I just identified with it and used to joke about it, and always had an idea that I could maybe run a business off of it, but nothing ever pushed me to that point. And the longer I've been in the city, I just see people around me that have created their own brands and started their own businesses, and there's really nothing different about that person or you or I. So
big facts.
It got to a point where
we're just average ass people, bro.
It's very average here, but it's I needed to make some additional money outside of my full-time job, and was already training people outside of the facility. So on one hand, I wanted to capitalize what I could do as an independent coach, but on the other hand, I wanted to have fun with it and use it as a creative outlet, and that's where SlimThick came into play. So I'm trying to build it as a lifestyle brand. Yes, there are coaching services offered within SlimThick, but I want people to identify with the term and what it means to be SlimThick. And there's no shape or size or color affiliated with SlimThick. It's how you carry yourself. It's the confidence you carry with yourself. So again, I can do some training and offer some different services to help fund it, but long-term the vision is to build a whole identity around the idea of SlimThick. Gotcha. So like more inclusive type fitness. Yeah. And honestly, it may pivot at a point where it doesn't have to be fully focused on fitness. Obviously, a main pillar of my business is strength training and being strong. That's where the thick comes in. And obviously, there's a big part of it is the lifestyle of having fun and eating pizza with your boys and cracking a couple beers. We would have a beer if we didn't have to sit in the park right now, but that's what I want to build it around. And I'm not the guy that's gonna take my shirt off and work out all the time, and that's just not the brand I'm trying to build. And I want to be identifiable with anyone who walks up to me, and have anyone the opportunity to identify with SlimThick.
No, I love that. I think it's so fucking, like, if you're someone that it's got to do that. You know what I mean? Like take the shirt off and like show off and do things like that. That's cool. But like that race or like that battle, you're always never gonna feel like enough. Where it's like, bro, I'd rather keep my shirt on and eat pizza and drink beer. Like,
and still chase my goals and still be really strong
still
in the
be
gym.
mad jacked. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's a balance you can make. I will say, growing up, I was always in gyms. I started going to gyms when I was in 8th grade, and I had this idea of what I was going to look like as I got older, and I wanted to be on the cover of a men's fitness magazine, and I pictured being this tall, jacked, tan dude, and that's not anything that I am. One, I'm not even 5'9". I'm pretty pale, lost all my hair, but I am so comfortable with...
I'm losing my hair.
It happens. But I'm so comfortable with the person that I've grown into compared to what I thought I was going to be in 8th grade or freshman year of high school. And my idea of what fitness was and bodybuilding. Obviously, we love to still lift, but again, for me, I want to be relatable to anyone who's sitting across from me and be able to offer a resource, be able to be helpful for anyone who's across from me, not just this dude's real jacked and he's in bodybuilding, you know?
No, for sure. That, you have this like idea of like growing up, like where you want to be, how you want to look, and all, you know, all that stuff. That shit changes all the time. That's why I'm like, I'm not even banking on those things anymore. Like I used to try to plan like the year ahead. Bro, I already made a pivot. Like, you know what I mean? Like I can't stick to like one, because it's just not flexible, not adaptable.
You keep styling your hair differently?
Yeah, like some days go that way, some days the other way.
Depends on where the wind's blowing, what hat you're wearing.
Oh man, the bucket hats are coming back though. Bucket hat, that's you gotta get a SlimThick bucket hat.
I gotta cover this dome piece anyway in the sunlight, so. I'll be honest with you, I get a lot of questions about my feet on Instagram.
Your feet?
Yeah, I didn't know people were so much into feet, but people
Nico,
like
you got this, right? So, tell me about your feet.
Well, to start, you now see a lot of people working out with their shoes off. And I remember years back, I was at this one facility, and I always had to fight with the owner of the facility because he's like, why are all your clients have their shoes off? Why are people training barefoot? And even if they had socks on, they still were bothered by it. And then enter the kettlebell and any other type of strength training, and you see like, you want your foot.
I will say though, you always got a nice pair of Nike socks on.
You gotta. Well, I mean, feet aren't that attractive. Not to me, apparently to other people. But I think that's where it started, is people got used to seeing me working out without shoes on, and then before you know it, the questions start to trickle in about your goddamn feet.
I got good feet.
I'm sure you do, man.
I'll have to post a picture later, but I got good feet.
There was, I don't know if I'll share it. I was at brunch last weekend, and somehow this came up in conversation as the waiter was walking back up to the table. And he's like, you guys talking about feet? And we're like, yeah, you actually happened to catch us talking about that. He makes his face, pulls out his phone, goes to his second Instagram account, and it's just all feet pics. And he was saying how he covers the majority of his rent through foot pictures. And that's why we're here.
Yo, I lost my appetite.
We got to give a shout out to Ben, being that you got me in touch with Ben with the shirts. Now the SlimThick shirts are here, so shout out to our guy Ben.
Custom Clothing New York, Ben Chu. Yo, he was into archery before that. You know that, right?
No,
this motherfucker was in Olympic trials for archery.
Wow.
Yeah, he's legit. But me and Ben, we used to fucking be in bubble tea shops gambling till like midnight and shit. Then going to pool halls and internet cafe, and you just see some wild shit.
But I think what's so cool about, or unique about the situation for you and I, is that when I told you about SlimThick, you immediately believed in it, you identified with it, you're like, I get it, you didn't question it. And before you know, we're talking about shirts, and you're like, I got a guy. And you just trusted me to recommend me to your guy that does all your clothing. And then in turn, I am now doing more extended business with him because of what you said about me and vice versa. And it just all comes down to your network, and that's what's so cool. When we're talking about personal training or fitness or physical therapy in the New York City scene, is you can get your hand in so many different ways, and it all comes down to that small network that we're building, and referrals, and having a guy for that. You got a soup guy, you got a pizza guy, you know?
You know the guy, you know someone's from New York when after everything he goes, I got a guy.
Yeah.
I got a guy,
exactly.
You know, like.
You gotta have a guy.
Yeah, it's like, yo, I'm just trying to get some, some pizza. Oh, I know a spot, like everywhere. And you got multiple guys, right?
Yeah.
One guy in Queens, one guy in Brooklyn. It's just how
It's
it
also
is.
knowing that there's certain restaurants at any point you could pull up and they're going to find a table for you.
Oh yeah.
It's going to happen too. So it works in different parts of your business. But then you installed some turf and you got your home gym set up there and everything, cooking some food on top of it.
Got the grill, we got the turf, got cornhole, I got medicine balls.
Can you throw a fucking party, dude?
We're gonna throw.
I'm not part of this video.
That's okay.
no, keep it in there, keep it. We're gonna throw a rager soon.
We just talked about throwing parties, so.
Christy, don't yell at me. Moment social coming up, baby. We're just gonna go to a bar, pay for the first handful of drinks. No.
This guy.
Appreciate you guys for tuning in, watching this channel, all 50 subscribers, viewers.
Yeah.
Honestly, half the views are me just clicking to see if I got views. So if you like what we're doing, comment, subscribe, holla at my boy. Any closing remarks, Mike?
Thanks for giving me the opportunity to be on your page, baby.
Stay slim thick, baby.
That's right.
Stay slim thick.